Good, happy Monday morning, May 16, 2022. I'm Riley King. Welcome to this Monday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Monday morning, so let's get started right now. First up, Crawford crews respond to brush fire caused by lightning strike. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Crews respond to media saying they responded to a bushfire at Corbin Park. Crews responding to another fire this weekend, this one believed to be caused by a lightning strike. You can see the scorch marks on the tree there. Croydon Fire posted the picture to social media saying they responded to a bushfire at Corbin Park, less than a mile from main camp. Crews managed to contain it to about an acre.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. AG's office, one person dead after officer involved shooting in New Boston. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
One thing I will say about the Secret Service, it's kind of expect the unexpected.
And more breaking news. The Attorney General says a Massachusetts man has been killed in an officer-involved shooting in New Boston. Officials say the 33-year-old man was killed during the shooting incident involving a contacted security member and a New Boston police officer. The name of the man killed has not been released. He died after suffering a gunshot wound on Galaxy Way, the road that leads to the Space Force Station. No officers were injured, and the events leading to the incident are under investigation.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire Fish and Game conduct 3 separate rescues on Saturday. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
New Hampshire Fish and Game conducted 3 separate rescues Saturday, all of them at a similar time. The first happened near the summit of Mount Cube in Orford. Officials say a 73-year-old man from Manchester suffered a medical emergency. The department says they got 2 separate reports of injured hikers on the bridle path in Franconia. New Hampshire Fish and Game reports incidents like these happen every spring.
People are back home and realize it's sunny out, and then don't realize still probably about 4,000 feet they're still going to encounter snow and ice in a lot of places.
The lieutenant says research is vital to staying safe on the trails. He says to bring the essentials, including proper clothing, lights, maps, and extra food and water.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire Unsolved, Walter Lyman. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
It's now been nearly 50 years since a man was found dead in Raymond, and the case remains cold. Authorities say 76-year-old Walter Lyman was found beaten and stabbed to death in his home on Old Manchester Road, May 15th, 1974. Lyman was the former police chief of Raymond. Anyone with information on this case is asked to contact New Hampshire's cold case unit.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Crawford Notch forest fire continues to burn. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
It is not yet contained, so today what we're doing is putting line around it.
Approximately 50 firefighters returned to Crawford Notch Sunday for a second day.
At this point, we just want to contain it. What happened yesterday was it rained a lot, and we got the lightning caused we had to get off the fire.
Saturday's thunderstorms were a big help, says Innes, but the work is not done. The fire broke out Saturday morning around 10:30.
I knew initially that something was very wrong. You just don't see that kind of smoke in that area at all.
Harry Lichtman says he couldn't call in the fire, no cell service on the trail, but he did take photographs.
There were like almost 4 patches of smoke, and it just, it didn't look right. All near the road, near areas that are popular with people and hikers, Arethusa Falls, Frankenstein Cliffs.
Those popular trails are closed now until the Bemis fire is contained. Officials confirm crews are battling 3 separate fires that sparked from the same origin. The containment strategy is called laying a line.
When we scratch a fire line, that means we're taking away the fuel and we're going right down to the soil. It's like building a hiking trail around it. So we want to stop that fire by making a break in the fuel.
Innes says the leaves are wet on top, but very dry underneath. He has this message for New Hampshire nature lovers.
Please do not build campfires. And if you do, make sure it's out. And that means pour water on it.
Fire officials say the well-timed rain is critical in gaining the upper hand, but caution that we are going into this spring at a rainfall deficit. In studio, Amy Cavino, WMUR News 9.
Only 2 things are forever.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. What we know about Buffalo shooting victims. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
If you have psoriasis, it's time to see the possibilities with Taltz.
It's just so sad.
Okay, sorry about that, everyone. The wrong report there. Sorry. Here we go. Authorities say Buffalo mass shooting a racially motive hate crime. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
And we begin the week one night earlier with you because of a simply horrific scene that played out here in Buffalo, New York this weekend. A deadly mass shooting at this grocery store right behind me. And now news of another mass shooting tonight, this time at a church in California. We'll have more on that in just a moment here. But we do begin tonight here in Buffalo, where authorities say this was clearly driven by racist hate. The attack at this busy supermarket on Saturday afternoon, 10 people shot and killed, including several right here in the parking lot before the gunman even got inside. The alleged attacker, 18 years old, armed with an assault rifle, wearing body armor, and who investigators say chose this supermarket several hours from his home, and that he did reconnaissance here the day before the attack. Authorities say it began in the parking lot. He opened fire. One of the victims, an elderly woman. A mother who was inside the store told me late this afternoon here that she remembered walking past that woman as she went in. When she came out, she was found on the ground here. The suspect tonight, Peyton Gendron, taken into custody just feet from his victims. Gendron coming before a judge tonight charged with 1 count of murder. Other charges, including hate crimes, are likely to follow. Investigators are now searching his home, interviewing his parents, combing his social media, and some of the chilling details of what they have found already. Tonight in the neighborhood surrounding this supermarket, police are standing guard. It is also a scene of prayer here. And we are learning tonight the names of the victims. The youngest, 32 years old, her name is Roberta Drury. The oldest, 86-year-old Ruth Whitfield, the mother of a former Buffalo Fire Commissioner here. And the hero security guard, retired Buffalo police officer Aaron Salter. He's being credited with saving lives here before being shot and killed by the suspect himself. Tonight, President Biden saying the Justice Department is investigating this as a hate crime and a racially motivated act of white supremacy and violent extremism. And we have learned late tonight that President Biden will be here on Tuesday. We begin tonight with ABC's Stephanie Ramos right here in Buffalo.
Crazy This is the moment authorities arrested the 18-year-old man they say drove 3 hours to Buffalo to murder innocent people because of their race, calling the attack pure evil.
This is an absolute racist hate crime. This is someone who has hate in their heart, soul, and mind.
Active shooter at the top. There are still shots being fired.
The horror unfolding around 2:30 Saturday afternoon at the Tops Friendly supermarket, shattering what was a normal day of grocery shopping in the heart of this predominantly black community.
Contact homicide. We have bodies down here.
Officials say the heavily armed killer, wearing body armor and a tactical helmet, live-streamed the massacre, first opening fire on 4 people in the parking lot, killing 3. Annette Parker and her 9-year-old daughter were walking out of another store just a few feet away from the supermarket when they heard gunshots.
I just picked her up and we ran.
The gunman then entered the store and methodically shot 9 other people. Annette and her daughter escaped to safety, later learning a neighbor and her child were inside, with the gunman at one point standing directly behind them.
He was right behind her. She got out. She got out?
Yes.
He was right behind her.
Inside the store, Fragrance and her 20-year-old daughter were working the same shift.
We heard gunshots. Everyone in the front end stopped moving. We all looked towards the front door.
Fragrance running away from the gunman, her daughter crouched down behind a register, trapped there until police arrived and brought her to safety.
I turned around, she wasn't there. And I said, "Where's my baby? Has anyone seen my baby? Where is she?" I didn't know where she was.
Retired Buffalo police officer Aaron Salter Jr., working as a security guard at the store, confronted the gunman.
We saw the security guard backing up, reaching for his weapon.
The guard firing multiple shots, hitting the suspect. But even that didn't stop him because of the body armor he was wearing. The gunman fatally shooting the guard moments later.
He cared about the community. He looked after the store. He did a good job. He was very nice and respectable.
Officials saying today the gunman fired about 50 shots, killing 10 people, injuring 3 more. All of the victims who died were black. President Biden today condemning the attack, saying the Justice Department is investigating it as a, quote, racially motivated act of white supremacy and violent extremism.
A lone gunman, armed with weapons of war and hate-filled soul, shot and killed 10 innocent people in cold blood at a grocery store on Saturday afternoon. Jill and I, like all of you, pray for the victims and their families and a devastated community.
And tonight, we're learning new details about the 18-year-old suspect identified as Peyton Gendron, seen here in court.
And his damage charges.
Charged with 1 count of first-degree murder, he's now behind bars on suicide watch, held without bail. His public defender pleading not guilty for him. Officials say Gendron drove 200 miles from his home in Broome County, New York, to the scene, conducting reconnaissance the day before the attack. Investigators searching his home, interviewing his parents, now combing his social media, saying he posted a 180-page hate-filled document laying out his plan to kill.
This was not by accident. This was a cold, calculated, cruel, I'd say military-style execution in furtherance of a white supremacy doctrine.
And tonight, this community mourning those lives tragically cut short, including the youngest, 32-year-old Roberta Drury. Her sister Amanda telling ABC News she moved to Buffalo in 2010 to care for her brother who was battling leukemia, saying, quote, she was always willing to help and laugh. And 86-year-old Ruth Whitfield, her son Garnell, the former fire commissioner, telling ABC News that his mother stopped by the market to pick up groceries on her way home from visiting her husband in his nursing home. Seen together in this photo, smiling. The city's mayor telling me he saw Garnell in the parking lot, frantically looking for his mother.
My heart absolutely broke, and I tried to provide whatever comfort that I could at that time to my friend, to a community leader, and to someone who has served this city honorably and nobly for decades.
Her proud son saying Ruth was all about family, adding, she came from nothing. She didn't have anything, and she rose above it. And she raised us in spite of all of that, being very poor. She raised us to be productive men and women.
And Stephanie joins us from the scene here tonight. And Stephanie, with this investigation well underway now, I know police believe there are no other suspects at this time, that no one else was involved, and they're also concerned about extremism across social media.
Exactly, David. Authorities believe the suspect, who they have in custody, acted alone. But they warn this kind of extremism is on the rise on social media and on other sites where groups and individuals are able to post racist views. David.
All right, Stephanie Ramos leading us off here tonight. Stephanie, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Thank you for tuning in and watching this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great day, everyone, and see you back here later on today for another newscast. Goodbye, and thank you for tuning in.